All right, welcome to the weekday video. This is Enda here from bullwings.org. Thank you for stopping by. It's been a couple of weeks again. That's life. I wish I could get to do more videos, but I don't seem to be able to. All right. Anyway, if you do want to see me more often, I'm on the website every night of every week. So check out bullwings.org and join, become a member, and you'll get nightly LOA analysis. But as for videos, sometimes it just seems impossible. Okay, let's get through the markets. It's been a while. Things are turning. Some things have completed. Some cycles need to change soon. Let's go through them. We'll start with the FX first. This is euro dollars. It's a 4-hour count, so we've got 5-wave pattern higher in euro dollar, and we've got a reversal off the top trend channel line there. You can see. Just pull that trend channel up a bit further. You can see we kind of popped through twice, and on the second attempt we reversed. That high actually came in. No, it didn't. We broke above the previous B. So we completed 5 waves up. It looks like we've got 3 waves down now to begin wave 2. So this could be wave A of 2, or it could be wave A of 2. So it depends on how complex this is going to get. It might just like wave 5 turn out pretty quickly here. It could easily be wave 2, churns through pretty quickly. We get a quick culmination of the expected decline. So I think a reasonable pattern or a reasonable target here for wave 2 in green would be a decline between the two previous fourth waves. So we've got 108.80 and 107.30. So between these two previous fourth waves, it looks like that's kind of where we would be aiming. And once we have that done, I'll be looking higher in wave 3 again. So if we go to the hourly count, you can see we've got ABC down in A, look for ABC up in B, and then C down again in A. So at the moment, I'm looking at the initial decline as wave A of the larger wave 2. So this week we should complete at least wave A in blue, and we may get wave A and B in blue. It just all depends on how quick this is going to go. If we get a break, obviously, if we get a break back to a new high, that'll invalidate this pattern. For the moment, it looks like we're kind of churning sideways in a series of B waves. So once this completes about 114, we'll head lower down into wave C again. So 3 waves down to wave A. That's what I'll be looking for. Okay, so here's cable. Again, the second wave correction is what I'm looking for. We've got, am I recording? Yeah, I am. We've got 5 waves up complete. Looking for 3 waves down to wave 2. Again, the previous fourth wave comes in at about 127 flat. So from there to here is about 500 points. That'll probably retrace about 50% of the overall rally in wave 1. So for the moment, this week, we're looking for wave 2 down. Don't know how long, again, this is going to take, but 3 waves down should bring us to around 127. And it looks like we've got to start on that pattern now. Again, just like the pattern in Eurodollar, I'm looking at wave A and B. This could still be wave 1 and 2 of A, because we could get 5 waves down in A, but for the moment, I'm just sticking with wave, a 3-wave pattern lower in wave A. And from there, look for a lower high in wave B later on this week. So maybe towards Friday, we'll get wave A and B done. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, dollar yen. Here we've got the 4-hour count. You can see we've got a possible 5-wave decline in wave C of 2 and a reversal so far. Now, I think I mentioned last week that at this point we only have 3 waves up, and we did hit that 200 MA on the 4-hour count. And we've reversed off that again. So we're kind of bouncing between averages here at the moment. I still think it's probably too early to tell, to be honest. I am looking for a rally up in a big third wave, but like I said before, I could be wrong on that one. I'm still kind of between the fences on this. 3 waves up, if that's correct, then that does suggest This is only a corrective rise, and we should head lower again. But if we have those second wave corrections going on in the Atlantic pairs, it would kind of stand to reason that we would at least get a rally, corrective rally, up in dollar yen. We'll see how it goes. That's what I'm looking for this week. I'm still holding I'm holding the point of view of, if it's not ruled out, then it's still possible. So this isn't ruled out, so it's still possible. Let's see how it goes. Okay, this is the daily count in the Dow, looking at an ABC pattern down in a large A wave. That A wave will probably push towards 30,000 again. We seem to have a series of supports kind of down around there, between, let's say, 31,500 and 28,600. So in around that area, we have some, reasonable support for this pattern. I did actually switch to that pattern last week, so you know that if you're a subscriber, you know that we switched to that pattern. So it kind of doesn't matter for you, but for the rest of you, this is what I'm looking at now. Let's get rid of you. Okay, so 3 waves down in wave A. We've got a 3-wave pattern lower in wave. I should get that as ABC. Forgive me, I have not updated this chart. A, B, and wave C. Okay, we've got 3 waves down in wave A. We've got 3 waves up in wave B. The correction higher. It's at the moment, a powerful correction, but a correction nonetheless. Let's get a Fibonacci grid on that. Insert Fibonacci retracements. Okay, so 100% retracement. We've got coming up to the 62% retracement of the initial decline. So we're in the area of where we should start seeing some, let's say, a reaction. We should see a reaction. I think 3 waves up off the 62% retracement level. I think we should see a reaction there, and I think wave C down should begin this week. So that's a lot of shoulds and I thinks in one sentence, but the action is definitely corrective. The minimum, let's say we've got an ABC up, the minimum expected rally for wave C was a break of the previous wave A high, so we've got that. At the moment, we're still kind of trending a little bit higher. The momentum of this rally has really died down. That's nothing like what we had in wave A. So we had 3 waves up in wave A. We had 3 waves down in wave B. And again, it's still nothing like we had in wave B. And so far, we've kind of trundled higher. I'm looking at kind of a wedge pattern in wave C. I don't know whether that's going to hold out yet. I'll show you that in the hourly count, but you can see we're coming close to, about 41,700 or so, 41,800. That would be the 62% retracement. We're not far off that now. The previous wave B high lies up at 42,800, so between 41,800 and 42,800. I think we should see a top of wave B, and then we'll turn down into wave C. And that should be quite a shocking, maybe, decline. The market seems to have come to terms with everything at the moment. Although I would say institutional investors have really turned shy, quite shy on this rally. I think they've pretty much sold this rally. At the moment, it seems to be, Robinhood investors that are buying. That's a whole lot of bag holders, as they say. And there has been no consequences yet for the completely wild economic kind of headwinds that are building. There's been absolutely no consequences in the job market, in the investment market, or in risk assets. It has kind of been just a little bit of a bump in the road at the moment. There has been no kind of internalization of a new era that we're heading into. Everybody seems to think that we're just going to go back to normal. You know, I've even heard somebody speaking about, the Chinese are going to do a deal. There's going to be, a massive reversal. The US is going to win this trade war, so on and so forth. But I don't think that that's the whole point to this policy, if you want to call it that. I think, as far as I can tell, you can, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the whole point to this policy was to bring the manufacturing base back to the US. And in theory, though, that's a good idea. You want manufacturing as close to you as possible, especially key manufacturing, strategic asset massive manufacturing. You want that as close to you as possible, but that would fly in the face of the idea that a deal will be done with China and everything will go back to normal. Because the whole point is to drive, domestic business, domestically owned US business back to the US and take them out of China. And that's not going to be achieved by a deal with China. There you go. So that hasn't been internalized by people yet. It's been the stated policy of Donald Trump for 30 years. So maybe they're going through with it, and that really hasn't got through the noggins of a lot of people yet. Anyway, we're talking about patterns. We're not talking about economics here. Okay, so we've got I think a type of a wedge pattern here. It may develop into something else, but we're getting close to that area where we should see a top. Again, that's the previous wave B high, 42,800. I'm marking the size of wave A pitched off the wave B low, so that gives us a wave C equals wave A target at 42,220, so about 42,200. So we're all kind of hitting that same kind of that area, no matter which way you want to look at it. On the 4-hour count, 62% retracement is 41,770. The A equals C is 42,220. The previous B wave high is 42,840. So I've got kids screaming outside the door here. That's going to drive me mad if they don't go away. All right. And that's why I haven't been able to do videos lately. Okay, so the Dow, 3 waves up should complete this week, and we think we should make a reversal back into wave C. So let's see how that goes. Okay, gold. I'm going to go change the pattern a little bit today. This is the alternate pattern for wave 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3 waves down to wave 4, and then we're working upwards again to a new high in wave 5. We'll see whether that's going to materialize or not. I really don't know. For the moment, I'm taking this 3 waves down as the beginning of the larger correction in wave 4. So wave 3 has topped out, and wave 4 is coming our way. And the hour count here, you can see I've got 3 waves down in A. We should be working on 3 waves up in wave B, and then wave C decline coming our way. So if this pattern is correct, then we should see a pretty bouncy sideways kind of grind. ABC up in wave B, up about 3350, 3370, somewhere around there. And then once that tops out, then we would turn lower in wave C. And that would be just wave C of A of 4, I think. So, a long road ahead. We'll have to still prove whether this is not just a 4th wave low and we're rallying higher in wave 5. Even so, it'll probably be a short-lived type of scenario. So let's see how that goes. Crude oil. Crude oil, we may be close. We may be close to bottoming. No, sorry, forgive me. We may be close to bottoming in wave 1 of 5. So forgive me, I had labeled that a little bit. wrong. Okay, we may be close to bottoming in wave 1 of 5 here, or else we may have bottomed in wave 1 of 5. It looks like we've got 5 waves down. We're kind of challenging the previous wave 3 low, and we have bounced so far. So this could be a bounce into wave 2. If we go into the hourly count, I'll show you that. So we have 5 waves down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So far, the bounce today is in line with what kind of expected in the short-term count. So we would look for 3 waves up this week. So it's probably, in the short term, it's probably fairly oversold. Let's see if we can get some labels on that. Gosh, I don't have a single corrective label there. Okay, you just talk amongst yourselves there for a second while I get this labeled up. And I'm just about to start tonight's update for the website. So if you do, in a couple hours, there's a few more hours of market left. If you do want tonight's update, get over to the website and join. Okay, so wave C. So that's wave A, B, and C of wave 2. Again, the previous fourth wave was about 59.60, called about $60. So 3 waves up towards about $60 in wave 2. The kind of baseline scenario this week, and we'll see whether it plays out or not. So far, so good. Yeah, so far, so good. Right, let's move on. Let's get the rest of these done. The S&P, the 4-hour count, maybe a little bit further ahead on this pattern than the Dow. So I think we might be close to the top of wave C already. If we go to the hourly count, you can see 5 waves up in this wedge again. The market is slight lower high today after, well, we haven't reached equality with wave. Wave C hasn't reached equality with wave A. That'll come at 57.85. So I don't know. We may reach that level also. But this wedge pattern seems reasonably complete at this moment. We do have a small lower high today, and wave C has reached above the 78.6 Fibonacci level of wave A. So there's an argument to be made in the short term, at least, that we are closer to a top of wave C here, and we might see an earlier reversal in the S&P than we do in the Dow. So we will obviously, hold on to that thought lightly. Don't don't put it in your pocket and take it home with you. But I think suffice to say, we're close enough to the top of wave B, this larger wave B in blue here. And we've got 3 waves up to a lower high. I think we're probably on time for a reversal down into wave C. So let's see how that goes this week. Okay, silver, the wave 1 and 2 pattern, famously infamous, has stuck with me. We did have a reasonable reversal last week, and we, at least at this moment in time, I can continue with the idea that that's a wave 2 high, and we should head lower into wave 3. You can see in my voice that I'm not overly convinced about that either, but for the moment, it hasn't been disproved. So if it hasn't been disproved, I'm not going to jump off this ship just yet, especially if we see a reversal in gold also. So we're working lower highs. We seem to be reversing in a possible impulsive pattern. Let's see. We should know by the end of this week if I think I said that last week as well, but silver is kind of holding out on me. But hopefully by the end of this week we should be able to confirm a turn down into a third wave on this one too. Okay, and that is that. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a great week. God's blessings to you all. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I did the video. That was last Easter. I always end each video with an invitation to sort out your eternity. Whatever about your investment, sort out your eternity, and then you can kind of rest with ease, and enjoy sorting out your investments. But whatever you earn in this life, whatever money you make, whatever assets you build, whatever wealth you kind of accumulate, you ain't going to be holding on to it, because you're going to come to an end, and your life does not last forever. Did you know that in the scriptures, if you do a word study on the grass, or the green grass, that phrase green grass, you will find that it what's the word I'm looking for? Invariably refers to the brevity of human life, or the brevity of life in general. So we are like, fresh green shoots of grass, and the sun will rise, and by noon we'll have dried up and withered. So I would urge you, or invite you, to contemplate where you would like to spend your eternity, because there's only one choice. That's, you make a choice for fellowship with God through the Messiah, or you make a choice to not fellowship with God through the Messiah. And if you choose not to, then you will exist eternally away from any good blessing of God. So anything good, like any eternal good blessing from your Creator, is taken away from you. So the air you breathe, the cool breeze, fellowship, the enjoyment of other people, the love and being loved. There is no love when you're separate from God. There is no enjoyment. There's no laughter. There's no fun and frolicking. So I would urge you, do not choose hell. Choose eternity with God through the Messiah. He came, he died for your sins, and he rose on the third day, defeating death. So if you believe that, admit you're a sinner, believe in that God died, or Jesus died on the cross for you, rose in the grave on the third day, and confess to God that you believe, and you will be saved. God does not break his promises. And just like he promised that he will not have fellowship with you if you are in your sin, that means you're going to pay for your sin eternally. He promised to fellowship with you if your sin is paid for, and there's only one way to pay for your sin, and that's with the Son of God, the Messiah. All right, that's that. Until tonight, I'll see you on the website, and until the next time, hopefully the end of this week. Be good. God bless. Bye-bye.